Leann Show. Today I have 3 of my lovely girlfriends who all happen to be experts in their line of duty. So let's go ahead and introduce them. We have Allison here, who is in wellness and health. We have Tanaha here, who's in beauty. And then we have the sexy Wendy over there, who brings sex and relationships back together through the kitchen, through cooking. So go ahead and introduce yourself, Allison, and give us a little bit about what you do.
I am a family nurse practitioner and also founder of Regenix Medical Center, which is a private medical office located in Scottsdale, Arizona, and we specialize in age management and regenerative medicine. So some of the services that we offer include hormone replacement therapy, vampire platelet-rich plasma therapy, facial injectables. I think you know a little bit about that from coming to see me, like Botox and fillers, medical weight loss. So my whole vision for starting the office was just to provide my patients with the most cutting-edge anti-aging treatments available, but also in a very intimate and concierge-type environment.
Tanaha, can you give us a little more about what you do?
Yeah, so I'm the founder of Blended Pure, and Blended Pure is a beauty company. My background is in engineering and the sciences, and I really wanted to create beauty products that were natural, that were based on just beauty secrets from every single region of the world, but that actually also solve problems. So some of Blended Pure's really popular products, Leann, the hair growth elixir oil, which has oil that's imported from India, the hair loss shampoo. I like to solve problems with beauty, but in a really natural, organic way that resonates with women. That's what I do.
I love it. I love it. All right, Wendy.
Hi.
How are you?
Great, how are you?
You're looking stunning.
Thank you.
Please.
So I'm Sexy Chef Wendy, and I really resonate with your organic lifestyle. So what I do is I have a website and products, and I promote love and sex relationships through cooking. So, you know, sex and cooking all have the same senses, basically. And they're both are necessities in life. Sometimes, I don't know, you need food or sex first or food. But really my philosophy is to make life simple and easy through the kitchen.
I love that idea of combining the two together. I mean, when I think of cooking, I'm cooking a big t-shirt and a ponytail.
Well, I take it to the extreme, but
well,
you know, lingerie.
I love it.
I like to help women empower themselves as well. You know, sometimes not everyone can go out to a very expensive romantic dinner, so create a beautiful environment at home.
That's pretty.
Be sexy. You know, no guy's going to turn you down if you show up in lingerie in the kitchen.
Right. All right, ladies. So I have a question for you girls. All right. So tell me, in what ways have you used being an empowered entrepreneur to your full potential? Like, for instance, you know, having the intelligence, the looks, the beauty, it's got me in places that I probably couldn't get if I, you know, didn't have what I have.
Don't underestimate your intelligence.
Allison, please share with us in what ways it's helped you.
As being a woman,
being
beautiful, thank you.
empowering.
I don't know if I would describe myself that way, but thank you. No, I would say in my industry especially, it's very important. I mean, I have an anti-aging clinic in Scottsdale. Let's be honest, you know, like when people come in, you expect it to look a certain way.
That's all you have to say.
They are.
I know.
I mean, you are expected to look a
Build the
certain way.
field and they will come.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, you gotta have the hair, the eyelashes, the Botox. You know, be an ideal weight. Like you have to look the part.
Yeah.
And I could be the most, you know, intelligent anti-aging expert in the industry, but if you don't look the part, they're not going to believe that you can help them get to the point that they want to, you know.
Yes, because you are walking evidence of your products, of your industry.
So I have to, like, I am my brand, I am what I'm selling, so, you know, you just have to,
Can we have that
live
address,
it and
please?
be.
I'd like to go there.
We'll get out my cards later.
Yes. Today, in what ways has it helped you? I mean,
You know, so before this, the reason why I even started Blended Pure, right, because I was going through a transition. I was married 14 years. I met my ex-husband at 21. And I knew I wanted to start something of my own.
Only one ex-husband?
Yes, one.
They're teasing me.
I know.
I'm on the Liz Taylor program, you know. The more the better.
So Wendy's been divorced
A couple times.
If she divorced, I'm gonna guess she divorced 5 times.
5
I'm
or
teasing.
6, maybe, I don't know. Okay. Sorry, go ahead.
No,
That's okay. I'm more interested in what you have to say now. No, so when I was married to somebody that, that was more high profile. And so I got to experience so many different things, like the best spas, the best dermatologists, the best whatever.
The
I was on the email list and I knew about everything. So when I started Blended Pure, which was a beauty company, I mean, I had advice from the best dermatologist in Beverly Hills. I was advised from the best, chemist, that created custom formulations. So, I mean, I had just great access that I was bringing in, to my line. So, and then when I went to do my hair, well, naturally already I had nice hair, and then the products just kind of enhanced all of that, so I do feel like I was able to kind of use some of that, but then also the expertise, you can't because of my background, I did have,
let's not lie, you're gorgeous as well, so
Well,
that helps just a tad, right?
well, thank you.
Just
Thank
a
you.
tad.
Yeah, because I don't see most. You're
she-
an engineering
you.
background, right?
She walks into a room
There's
and like
engineers.
sure, yes, we'll buy from you.
Well,
of course we will.
Yeah, I know.
Yes.
I mean, when I think of the typical engineer, I'm like, glasses
know.
and a lab coat and a lab.
Yeah.
Like,
She'd
you're not
look-
the
she would
typical.
look
So
even
you got the
hotter
brains
with the
and the beauty. You
glasses
went
on.
into beauty. It's
I have to
perfect.
tell you, my dad was an engineer and my mother was hot.
Nice.
Beauty and brains.
That's
And look what they
how-
And
created.
the combination.
And so he said engineering, but
Yeah.
so it was because of the background that I was able to bring all of that into the line. So
Nice.
I don't know if that's what you want, but that's what I give
That's
to
what
my
she's giving us.
customers.
Great,
I
great,
give it
I
to
love
them
it.
every day.
All right, Wendy, same question.
Tell me that question again. Getting all excited here.
What advantage do you have, being empowered women, and how do you use it to your full potential?
100%. I mean,
I like that she's so blunt.
Well, the one thing I know what I know for sure, but I literally, I grew up doing lingerie catalogs, and I know, beauty and sex. I mean, it works. It just does. So I really did use those assets. I knew I had them, and I own it. That's what I did for a career. Made things look sexy and beautiful. So I took that along with my culinary background and mixed it up. And I mean, I definitely took my brand to the edge, and I used all of my assets, and I don't have a problem with it because behind it is brains. It's not just
brains and beauty.
Right. And that's the really amazing thing. It helped me also embrace my intelligence, because everything I talked about it earlier, but everything that all the experiences in my life, and then I put it together, and I used my asset. I used my body, but just to get the attention. But then you go back and you read the content and you see that there is a purpose behind it. And I think that is just like kick-ass for a woman. You gotta.
It's very important.
It's great. It's awesome. I'm so proud that I have 3 children. I have grown children. I have from 21 to 13. I feel great about that. I take good care of myself, and I use every skill I can, and I do it in a positive way. I don't use it in a negative way or to be harmful, but it's to really just get out there and say, hey ladies, hey guys, this is me, this is it. I'm the real deal, and I own it. And I think whatever you do, you should feel that way.
Yeah, and no matter what.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that does benefit, I mean, your looks, you guys are all extremely beautiful, and,
As are
that's
you.
what gets the attention first.
It does.
And then when
Right.
they get to hear you and you talk, and wow, she's not just beautiful, but she's smart.
And
that's a win.
I'm gonna say
I need you
something.
guys to teach me more, though. I do, because I'm not kidding. Like, I grew up as this nerdy girl, and I want to learn more of that from you. I really do, and you, and all of you.
To
'cause
start,
I'm not
bringing it
doing
out.
something. Yeah, I love your pictures on Instagram. I need that.
Thank you.
I want you to teach me.
Yeah, I would love to. And
Me too. You know what mine is? I want to enroll in your class too. You want to talk about growing up nerdy? I went through high school with braces and a chipped tooth. I'm just saying. Talk about the ugly duckling. Yes.
I mean, the same. I'll go back to my childhood. I mean, I was taller than everyone. I weighed literally nothing. I had chicken legs. I felt so out of place, and I was really shy. Believe it or not, I was really shy. And
I don't believe it.
I was.
so do we have a geek to chic here?
Yeah, but you know what I wanted to point
Geek
out.
to chic. Yes. We should have pictures of the background.
That's
Like,
before and after.
yeah,
We
now
need
and
a
then.
course.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
no, but that just tells you, we are people that evolved, that grew into ourselves and grew into our confidence, because it's not necessarily there, I think for me, maybe all of us were probably really in our brains. I'm more in my head
Totally.
than
Totally.
and I'm like, oh, well, but I look kind of good too, so I'm going to use that as well. But I always use my brains. And but one thing I wanted to point out, just as much as some people say, they think they have obstacles, sometimes for me, as a female that looks like this, it can be an obstacle for other females that want to judge or say that you're just trying to show off, but that's really not the case. So you have to get over that hurdle as well. There really is that kind of judgment as well. But my advice about that is don't care. Just be who you are. Do not buy into it. Do not change yourself because someone says, I wear lingerie in the kitchen and I lay on counter.
Literally?
Yes, and I'm on countertops and I'm cooking and my videos
Like
are
just during the day, at night. That's what you do.
that's what
every
Sexy
day.
Chef does. Yeah.
Oh my God.
High heels and it's funny, but it's really just what we're talking about, confidence, stepping
You have
into
to.
yourself, and we are sexual beings. Hey, by the way, we're moms too. That's okay that we're a sexual being and a mother. When you met your husband or your soulmate or whoever it is, it's because you had chemistry with him, right?
Yes.
And then you go through life and you have kids and you have these other things that go on, but the bottom line is that's how you started, so get back there.
Yeah.
And I just think it's really important, especially for moms, and to be okay with your sexuality and not feel I don't feel like bad about myself because I'm in lingerie. I'm a good person. It's fun, like no rules, just enjoy yourself, enjoy life, and be and I just hear it through all of us, be true to yourself.
Yeah, and that's very important.
Yeah, if you're true to yourself, I still do feel like a woman who has passion for what she's doing.
Right.
It's so hard to stop that woman. Because we're natural multitaskers. We really are, and we can do so many things at once. So if you believe in what you're doing, I remember when I started, Blended, I wanted to help other women, because there was a time where my self-esteem was low. It's fine now, and it was when I was younger, but there was a time that it was lower.
Yes.
Right? When I was just
can
kind
relate
of
to
coming
that.
out of
we
what
all
I
can
just
relate to that,
talked
and we all
about.
overcame it.
Yes.
Well, I think a lot of people in general can,
Yeah, and so it was all about giving back,
Right.
building a company that gave back to women so they never had to experience what I had to get. And that passion is what wanted me to start, right? So I knew I needed something going through divorce, but then I had that passion that I just didn't want another woman to feel like I felt. I didn't want her to do that. I didn't want her self-esteem to be low. I didn't want a man to make her feel like she wasn't enough. And I remember,
Exactly. Well, it's true. And even after you have children, like you feel kind of, you're not really in your body and you don't feel great about yourself. You go through that whole transition, right?
Yeah,
I think
do.
it depends on your partner. I think if you have a partner that tells you that you're amazing and you're good, then I think you're okay. But if you have somebody that's not making you feel like that, then you can't help but to wear it. My parents are really good growing up, and they would always tell me, oh, you're beautiful, blah, 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 blah. But you can have somebody that's external, and it can change it. It can take it away,
That's why you need to take your power back, and it's what you're talking about, because really you've got to have it here.
You have to have it within yourself. I had exes, and they always, you're so beautiful. I couldn't get them off me, and I'm like, why don't I see this? Why don't I have no idea? I traumatized somewhere down the road.
Yeah.
But it took me till I was like 19 where it clicked. I was just coming out of college. I was in medical school, and I wear these cute little pigtails as a nurse with these glasses. And I would go in there, and then, I was in school with men doctors, and I kind of, they start looking at me, and I was like, I guess I'm cute. I'm sorry to say, ladies, I've never had the same problem as you. I was really hot when I was young, but I didn't acknowledge it till I was about 19, and it clicked, and I was like, wow, I am
It's
hot.
interesting that you say that, because when I started going in front of a camera, and I was recruited very young, it was a phenomenon to me. I was like, really? You know, and I'll never forget, I went in, they put makeup on me, and all of a sudden I look like I'm 25, you know, and they saw that in me. They saw that look in me that I didn't see, but I grew into it through that, literally in front of a camera.
Yeah, see, that's exactly what I did.
Yeah.
You know, I've been through modeling since I was 13.
Right.
So in the camera, the pictures, that comes out. And I know most of the times it's fixed and edited and stuff. So, but still, just to see yourself and be like, wow, I really am pretty. You know, all those thoughts
I came from the days where they didn't have, you know, that whole editing process that you do it like this now.
No filters.
No filters. And if they were to change anything, you had to go, you send it out for like a week to do a touch-up. So you better have your body in the perfect position, and you better have everything. Yeah. I mean, it was really like a different world.
Yeah. And
it's fascinating to me how that, I mean, it's awesome that you can, you know, edit and change things.
Exactly. I love that. I mean,
I do too.
Thank you.
It's a lot easier.
Thank you. I hope you make me extra cute today.
It's a lot easier than, you know, sending something out and getting it back 2 weeks later.
So, so the reason why, like, growing, it took me until I got into modeling to realize I was pretty and stuff and all that, was because growing up as a child, and nobody knows this about me, but I actually got picked on by the girls. I mean, I'd walk down the hallways and gum was thrown in my hair. You know, they would knock my books out of my hand. I was just like the nerd, a pretty nerd that was just like kept to myself.
Totally.
Kept to myself, and I just didn't own who I was. And I was, you know, I was the captain cheerleading squad. I never even acknowledged that. The school jocks were all over me. I wouldn't date them. And it's just like, I guess that's kind of the reason why I didn't feel pretty then. And growing up, it took me a while to actually, you know what, you are pretty. I guess, I was traumatized.
I totally had
I'm
that
all
too.
traumatized.
Totally. 6th grade, me and Joanna, she had me get off the bus stop. Everybody was saying, "Oh, you think you're cuter than Joanna, and Joanna thinks you're cuter than you." You guys want to fight. They wanted to fight, and I was like, "I'm the one who wears polos up here." High school bingo, same thing. You know, this woman said, "Oh, you like my boyfriend?" I was like, "I don't even like I don't even like anybody." You know, I'm not even thinking about it. You know, again, you know, my parents were so strict. You know, my shirts were up to here. And she wanted to fight me, and you know, we had to get the school involved, but for no other reason other than you think you're cute. That's what she said.
Yes, that's exactly what I got
Those were her words, so I totally got that.
I know, I never thought I was cute. I thought it was the ugliest thing. They made me feel so ugly. I didn't even own any of it until, I'm telling you, until I was 19, I got into modeling with John Casablanca in Miami, Florida, and it took off from there, and I was like, oh, to them, to the hell with them.
Exactly. I had one of those moments. I remember that going, now you see, you know, it's true.
Yeah, and you know what, I have
because you're such a highly intelligent, intuitive person, right? So you have all this going for you anyway, and then you grow into yourself, and then you add it to this, and it's a spectacular recipe. I mean, really, you know.
Yeah. I agree. I totally agree with that. I think for me, like growing into it later in life was a positive because I wasn't like, you know, oh, I'm just beautiful and here I am and that's all I have to be. No, I was the opposite, like I mentioned. And I just developed other skills, you know. It's like, you know what? I'm smart and I'm athletic and, you know, I'm ambitious.
Look at them arms.
Oh,
look
thank
at them
you.
arms.
You want to zoom in there, the tricep work. Just kidding. But just growing into it later, you're like, you know, I've developed all these skills over my lifetime and then now you grow into your beauty and it's like, okay, that's just the cherry on top.
Let's own it. You know? It's time to own it. And that's what I think is very important for women is to actually own, you know, being who they are. Everyone's beautiful. I know I've gone through hell with a lot of people bullying me as a child, but I know how it's like. So I want to empower women today. I don't take any, you know, sort of anger against anyone. I love them all. And I want to empower women. I want to reach out to those who are going through the same thing and can actually, you know, relate and tell them, you know what, you're okay, and it's going to pass. This too shall pass.
Yes.
And sooner or later, you're going to grow into your beauty, and you're going to grow into the powerful woman that you're meant to be, and it's just going to skyrocket from there.
Well, let's face it. I mean, beauty comes in all different packages.
Right.
I mean, it's really an inside job, and I have, you know, people ask me all the time, you know, if I have more male followers than female, and I do a little bit, but I have a diehard female fan base, and it's women across the board, you know, with their body types, but it's their mentality.
I love
and
it.
you know, sometimes maybe someone who's a little more voluptuous and big. I mean, they're the sexiest woman. That could be the sexiest woman because she's just so amazing inside, and it really exudes. It really does. So I that's really what I like to let people know. It doesn't have to look like this exact package that you think it is, because honestly, the bottom line, the end of the day, no one's going to like you if you're not pretty inside. So
Yeah.
you know,
That's right,
it's
totally.
it's really about that, and you can maybe not be like aesthetically the most beautiful person, but you are the most beautiful person in that room, because it radiates out of you. And I think that is so important for us, all of us, to impart upon. There's young girls out there that look at images and think that they have to be this certain way, and it's hard on them, and so it's more about hearing us talk about this and really developing yourself.
Yeah.
Right.
So-
Yeah,
so
and
you-
I've been around some of the most beautiful women on the planet, literally in my
so
past
have I.
life. But it's not just about being beautiful, because those women were also some of the most insecure women as well.
Right. Yes.
Because if that's all you have
Yes.
is your external beauty, then there will be a hole inside, because guess what? There's always another beautiful woman,
There
and
is.
another
Yes,
beautiful woman,
yes,
and
yes.
another
Right.
beautiful woman.
Right.
But yet, if you have something, that's why I really liked my dad, always used to kind of teach me,
Good.
okay, and then what else? So please stop complimenting her,
Yes.
because, we're trying to build something on the inside. You have to have
Oh, yes.
a good foundation inside,
Oh, yes.
because there's always another beautiful woman.
Yeah, there's several.
If you're married or whatever to someone, that you can be replaced, very,
Easily,
very easily,
easily.
if that's all that
That
you
is
have
important.
to offer.
Right.
So I love what you said. I do,
Thanks, yeah.
because you have to make sure that you're kind of filling your own self, and you're
Yes.
filling your soul, and you have something to offer, and you're not replaceable. So, while, beauty here, culinary relationships here, health, wellness here, fashion, photography, modeling here,
Right.
it doesn't, these are great things that we need as women, right? Because that's part of our validation.
Right.
But we got to have more than that.
Oh yes.
To sustain.
That's a foundation. Yes, having
Yeah.
the love and spirituality, I think is very important.
Absolutely.
And a lot of people don't like to discuss that, but I think it's very important.
I do. I do.
We got a few sisters
Yeah.
here.
If you got to have that base, 100%.
And love above all things is very
Love, yes.
important. The love for people, the love for yourself, the love for everything going on around you, and
Right.
just accepting, what this world has to give you. Meanwhile, we're still on it,
One of the things that I put on my posts a lot is there's something free that we could all give away every day, and it's a smile. And
Yeah.
it's
I
true.
love
Like
that.
if you walk into
And women empowering other women.
yes, and
is
I
important.
post that on my personal page all the time. I always put positive thing, and it's so true, because if you walk into a room smiling, I mean, pretty soon the whole room's going to be lit
yes.
up, and it's.
Well,
it's
you come in my room smiling, I'm going to smile regardless.
Right. So, but it just elevates people, and it's something that, everyone's like, what do I have to give? I don't have anything, but it's not true. We all have something, and that is something that is so basic and simple, and it's. One of the things I'm not going to get religious, but I love about Buddhism is the pursuit of happiness. I mean, that is it, the pursuit of happiness. So whatever that takes, and sometimes it's tiny little steps, and smiling, like faking it till you make it, but, elevating yourself and bringing people like that around you. So I'm very, that's very much a part of, I think, being successful as well. And in any business you do, you have to have that kind of mentality.
Exactly. I like that quote, fake it till you make it.
All right.
It's a strong quote that I stand by still till this day, and I did it when I was younger.
Yes.
I used to, claim it, put it into existence. Although you don't have it, speak it like you
Right.
do. Own it like you do. And eventually you end up having it. And
Did
then
you
it's
do
not even
that?
fake anymore. Yes, my entire life, it's all about
Tell
the
us.
glitz and the glamour. I loved it. Let's see. I would always be like, oh, I love this kind of lifestyle. I like this, and I want to have I had this, this chart board where your goals
your vision
and
board?
a vision board, and I had, I want this type of ring, I want this type of house, I want this type of boyfriend, I want this type of goals, this business, everything. And before you know, I can actually say today I have all of that. So everything on that board I had.
You manifested it.
Yeah.
Right.
So if
it's a very powerful
claim it,
tool. Yeah.
it's very important to claim it. I mean, if you're living with your mom and you're sleeping on the floor, whatever it may be, and you're still, I'm gonna get that mansion, I'm gonna get that mansion, I'm gonna get that Ferrari, I'm gonna, whatever it is, you keep claiming it. You keep doing what you have to do. Stay focused and just go for it. People will always try to knock you. No, you're not going to have that. No, you're not. Well, she wishes she had that. Now I have it. So what? And I did. I faked it till I made it, and I've made it, and I'm like, okay. Well, now I'm ready to tell you guys can do it too. So easy.
That.
It's confidence. Confidence is everything, and owning it is another. So.
And I think envisioning too the future that you want, writing it down, and then making steps toward that. Just moving confidently in the direction of your dreams.
You have something.
Envision the life you want and just make it happen.
Yeah. A lot of people don't do that. They're like, oh, I can't do that.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Or they listen to other people who say you can't do it. It's too hard.
Yeah, I can do. I came from family with just one parent.
Oh, you did.
Yeah, I struggled. I couldn't say we were eating bread and bologna our whole life, but I will tell you that my mom had food on the table all the time, but we never seen her. She had 2 jobs. We never seen her.
Oh, your mom was working on.
Yeah, since 7. I felt like I have to do something about it. At 7 years old, I went out and I got a job.
To help.
They didn't even want to hire me because they said I was so young. I went to the nearest dollar store and I was like, I need a job. And they're like,
what happened?
I got a job. They said, you know what? I like that you're motivated.
At
child.
7?
Yeah. They're like, you know what you can do? You can organize the shelves. I said, I'll do it. I said I can work just as hard as the 18-year-old.
So you've been a hard worker since you were 7 years old.
Yeah, and then after that, I started going to
So
old
that was
group
a struggle
homes
that
and
motivated you. It's kind of what we talked about earlier.
seeing my mom struggle.
Yeah. But it motivated you to change.
It motivated me to want to help her. My whole life, I've always felt
then
like
you
I
went to
want to
group
give my
homes,
mom.
And then what?
Old group homes. I would help and feed them their food,
Wow.
and listening to the elderly. Oh my God, it was the best thing I can ever say growing up because. They taught me and showed me and all kinds of things that they've gone through already. So just listening to them was a lot of good mentorship for me. All right, everyone, and before we close this episode up, I have one last question for you ladies, okay? And by the way, I want to thank you all for tuning in. All right, so my question would be, how do you keep men off of you? I mean, you guys must be having men all over you. Just being beautiful, but being successful and beautiful. How do you keep men off of you on a daily basis? I mean, I know it's hard for me. I wear this ring. I'm not married. I am not.
I've done that too.
This is called pest control.
I did that too.
Maybe
When
I should do that.
No, when I got my divorce, I did the very same thing too.
Yeah, I
went
can't.
to Nordstrom and got a nice ring, and I wore it.
And I'm not saying it helps because it really doesn't, but it eliminates a lot of men.
Sometimes they like it. Sometimes it's more intriguing.
Depends on the guy,
So in what ways, Wendy, let's start with you. We'll give Allison a break here. In what ways how do you deal with that? How do you brush them off? I mean, you're a taken woman.
So how do I get men to stay off me?
What is your
That's
pest
funny.
control?
That's a funny question.
Yeah.
Well, I actually try to I kind of stay to myself a lot, to be honest, because I'm very inundated with this virtually all the time. When I go out, I have a guy with me or someone around me to watch over me.
As a bodyguard? You have a
Kinda.
bodyguard?
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much, yeah.
Can I get this card?
Yeah.
I need one.
Yeah, we all do.
Yeah. No, it's especially when you put yourself out there as I have. I mean, I'm in lingerie all the time, so I'm very careful. I really am.
Nice.
Yeah.
So does anybody ever see you and recognize that you're the woman that's Sexy Chef Wendy in the lingerie?
Yes.
Really?
I've had it. Yes. I've sat in restaurants, and I've had it from men and women. I sat one day at a restaurant, and this woman, she just was staring at me, and she screamed, "Everyone, that's Sexy Chef!" And I was like, "Well, at least it was a woman." But no, yes, I've had people come up to me and just stare at me, and I'm like, "What's going on here?" And don't you know me? I'm sorry, I don't. Like, who are you? I follow you. I mean, it's great.
You gotta
it's awesome.
love the fan support.
I love my
I love
fans.
it.
Are you kidding me? I love them, and I do communicate with them all the time. So, But you know, that's the other side of it. You know, with this, you do have to be careful. I'm very cautious. But I grew up in this world, so I'm very, very aware of that. And if you have to go do your day-to-day stuff, kind of dumb yourself down a little bit.
Nice. All right, Tanae, your turn.
So I think, sweetheart, I'm like you. You know, I have gotten a ring, you know, to put on my hand, and went to Nordstrom, got a ring that I thought was appropriate, put it right on that finger, and I think that works. And I think also I do the same thing as you. You know, day to day, you know, I am not dressed up. I've got a high ponytail in my hair, and you know, oftentimes I've got little ones. So frankly, I think that helps too.
Yes.
But if you don't make eye contact, like if somebody's like,
Right.
you know, trying to get your eye, you know, and then if you just kind of like,
You stay to yourself. I stay to myself.
That may be my problem. I make eye contact. I smile.
Pretend you have no idea. You know, even in the gym, like I put headphones on. Even I remember so many times the batteries went out. There's no music, but I keep it on anyway. It drives me crazy, but because I don't want anyone to, you know, come into my space.
The zone.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
So
no, just no eyes, you know.
No,
just
I make eye contact. I admit, I do. I love smiling. I love.
And it's hard not to
Hi,
smile. Someone's nice
everyone.
too. I know, but
I love it. And I'm very talkative, social butterfly. So I think that's my problem. But tell me, Allison, darling.
It's interesting, but I would say most of the times I've been like really aggressively approached by men, it's been my patients. So I know,
must
and
be
so
hard.
it's a little interesting because I'm like, okay, I'm talking to them about these sensitive topics, like how are your spontaneous morning erections? How often do you get them compared to when you were 25 years old?
What do you expect them to? How do you expect that they look at you?
Yeah, and then I'm asking these questions. You know,
can
do you
you
need a
check it out for
prescription
me?
for Viagra or Cialis today?
Oh my
Let me tell you about the penis injection I have to offer. So, you know, I am very direct about these like sexual questions and offering these procedures. And so sometimes I think they take it the wrong way. Like, oh,
I
she's
need to
nice.
have you on my
She's
show.
smiling. I know, right? She's smiling. She's asking me about my erections. Like, maybe she's interested. I'm not, but they get that idea. So
Wow,
I just
you're
have
doing your
this. You know,
job.
I just say, you know, I just have a rule. I do not date patients.
Good.
And in fact, it's it's a breach of the professional patient-provider barrier per the State Board of Nursing. So it would actually be against my license. Sorry, I can't date you.
And she spent a lot of
It's
time.
interesting, yeah. And then otherwise, if I'm out and about in the real world, you know, I'm busy, like you said. You know, if you don't act interested, they're not likely going to approach you. If they do, just okay, nice, I gotta go
Yeah,
by, like
yeah.
blow them off, kind of. But
Mine
you know, patients, you have to like give them an answer. They're your client.
Exactly.
So I just say no. Not allowed.
They won't come back to you if you don't talk to them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, my ring helps a lot. I mean, it doesn't help to where, you know, they back off, but it helps where it helps me cut them off faster. Sorry, Mary, and then walk off. Not even rude about it. I got a husband, I gotta go. But yeah, all right, ladies. I thank you guys all so much for being on my show today.
It was so much fun.
You ladies, literally can't even talk. You ladies are lovely, and I appreciate you guys coming. Thank you all for tuning in. You guys have a great day. Tune in to the next show.